Alright, back again with me, Hendra. This is the part 2 of building your own DIY Arduino or building your own Ardubuino. Now we will get to the part which we will solder all the parts together. Before we solder, I'm gonna tell you all the tools that you need. Actually, it's a very basic tools for soldering. The main part is obviously you need a soldering iron. The second one is you need a solder, like this. Use the flux cord solder wire to make your life easier. Wire stripper or wire cutter, wire snippets to cut the lead. This is optional, not essential, but it could get your soldering more easy. This is the flux liquid for the PCB to make your soldering is much more simpler. And yeah, I guess that's it. Very basic. Oh, sorry, I forgot about this one. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about you. This one is breadboard, obviously. This is for mounting the Arduino Micro to the header. Sorry about that. To make solder this much more easier. So now, the first step is we have to solder the header of this Arduino Pro Micro to the Pro Micro itself. So I'm gonna use this lovely breadboard, which I forgot to tell before. Sorry about that. So you just put the header on the breadboard first. Make sure it's aligned correctly, and then you put the Arduino Pro Micro on top of it, and now it starts soldering. Let me try to zoom this. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, I'm not gonna share about a few basic soldering technique because there are tons of video already explaining about that. So I guess I need some light in here. It's pretty dark. Okay. Remember, always mind your soldering iron. You don't want to get yourself burned. Okay, you don't want to get yourself burned. Okay, I have some support from one of my students to give me the lights. Obviously, that's not enough light. Okay, I guess that's enough. Now, pull up your trusty solder and then start soldering. Remember to always solder the corner of the header first. That way you can make the headers align correctly. Let me check on that. Okay, it's good. And then the other side of the corner. I'm sorry if this video gets really shaky and bad because this is the first time I'm doing soldering on the video. So as you can see, I think we got it aligned correctly. Now we just need to solder all the header. I'm gonna be silent for a while. So remember to always put your soldering iron in mind. You don't want to burn yourself or any other components or even maybe your students, which is helping me right now, or maybe your breadboard. Always put enough solder. Don't put it too much solder on any component. A small glob of soldering is enough for this header, I guess. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this video is becoming really silent because I need to focus on my soldering. Fortunately, I have a few students of mine here helping me with the light so I don't get really dark. Okay, now just get to this side. This side, all of it. Hopefully it won't get a long time. I'm using a standard solder from Deco. It's not Hacko. Maybe it's a Hacko clone. It's called Deco. I don't know why it's called. It's very cheap soldering iron. It's only, oh, I forget about this one. The solder sponge. So back to solder. It's only cost me about maybe $7 or no. It's $5 actually. It's a very cheap soldering iron, but it has a very good quality. I think this one is 40 watt or something. And when you use solder, give enough soldering to your board. Sorry about the noise. I'm on the side of the street right now, so many buses passing through. Okay, I think that's enough. Remember to always put your soldering iron back in place, like this. So now let's check our soldering job. It's not a very good one, but I guess it works. As you can see. I think I've missed a few pins in there. But I think it's get the job done. A few got a cold solder joint. I think I'm going to solder this one. This one has a cold solder joint, which isn't very good for our components. Okay, I think that's enough. Now you can pull this out from the breadboard. As you can see, it's aligned perfectly. Now we can get rid of this breadboard and get to the PCBs. Now, this is a bit tricky part. Remember this step. You have to put the Pro Micro first. You have to, sorry about the shaky cam. You have to put the Pro Micro first, and then you put the screen. Because if you put the screen first, you are having a bad day. Because if you go to the screen first, as you can see, it will cover the pins for the Pro Micro, and that way you cannot solder the legs for the Pro Micro. So remember this: you have to solder the Pro Micro first on the back, and then you can solder the screen. Okay. Now, the position for the Pro Micro is like this. So this is the top layer. This is the bottom layer. The Pro Micro is on the bottom layer, facing down. Let me try to. Okay. Now it's like this. Like this. Now we solder it to the board, to the PCB. Okay, just do it like this. Just same as before. You have to solder the corner first, just like I did before. Like that, like so. Make sure you are aligning the Pro Micro correctly, like I did here. Okay, now the other corner. Oh, it's hot. Yeah, of course it's hot. It's a soldering iron. What do you expect? Why won't you solder? Okay, it's in. Now, as you can see, it's aligned correctly. No unwanted gap. This is the gap we wanted. Now, to make the I think I got too much solder there. It's okay. Now, to make the Ardubuino slimmer, you have to cut the header first, and then you go on soldering. So don't solder all the header. Cut it first, and then you will go on with the soldering. But make sure you already soldered the corner, these two corners first, and then you can cut all of the legs from the Arduino Pro Micro. So to cut it, you have to use this kind of sponge to make sure that the header doesn't jump off to your eyes. Remember, do this very carefully, because you don't want to having these kind of headers into your eyes, even to your mouth or maybe your nose. So it will be a bad decision. Okay. Now I'm gonna try to cut all of the headers. This, hopefully, as you can see, it's jump off. Jump off really easily. Really easily. Are you cut? Yeah, it's cut. Last one on this side. Okay, now we do the other side. Remember, just push this sponge to the header, and then you cut it at the bottom of it. It's already jumping a few. It's becoming so messy on my table. It's okay, it's fine. It's supposed to be messy. Okay, gotcha. Okay, as you can see, now we have a few millimeters headers, which is fine. You don't have to worry if it's not being contact with the PCBs. This height is fine because we will put another glob of solder and make a connection to all the headers. Now, another soldering job. Make sure to make your tip clean. Now, let me zoom in again and focus on that. Oh, it's a bit dark. It's okay. Now, make sure you don't bridge the connection between each side. Thanks again for my students for helping me. Same as before, you just need a little bit solder in there, not much. Don't make a mountain of solder. Make sure you are comfortable with yourself. Clean this. Okay. I actually have a third hand, but I don't want to use it because I don't want to get used to it. And my third hand is really bad. It's not a very good third hand, your standard one. I think I've got it wrong side soldering. Oops, sorry, a bit off camera. You don't see the action. It's kind of difficult to do this. For the other side, maybe I'm gonna use that flux. To make my life easier. Remember to heat up the pad first and then put your soldering down to the pad to make a good connection. We have done on one side. This is not a very good soldering. See, too many blob in there. It's okay. I missed this one. Okay. It's okay, I don't mind that. Okay, for the next one, for the other side, I'm gonna use this flux. Actually, you can use some kind of a brush to make it easier, but I don't have that on me right now. You just pull this little bit of flux in there and then stripe it off to the PCB. Then you will see, is it gonna make it easier or not? Yeah, it did. Oh my god, why don't I do this before? Yeah, I see it. Sorry about that. Actually, if you get kind of bored of watching me soldering, you can skip the video of the finished soldering of all the components. Really, I'm suggesting that on my own video. I'm afraid you will get bored. Eyo. Okay. I'm actually making another kind of version of this PCB, which is I will be releasing later, the update of the Hackaday page. Not that this one is bad, but I need some improvement on these PCBs. I want to add another kind of feature. Okay. I was shaky. My hand is shaky. I need to eat that ayam geprek before. Maybe I should eat that ayam geprek. If you're wondering what ayam geprek is, it means crushed chicken. It's a very common meal in Indonesia nowadays. It's a very spicy meal. Yeah, I'm rambling about ayam geprek right now, so you don't get bored watching me soldering all these components. Fun fact, ayam geprek is actually originated from Java, and I don't know, I don't have any fun fact for that. Okay, inspection. I think everything's okay. Yeah, everything is good. Thanks once again to my students for helping me out. As you can see, it's aligned correctly. You don't mind the soldering job. It's already good. It's making a good connection, hopefully. Now, the next part is the screen itself, like this. But before that, you have to cover this with a tape or a Captain tape. Unfortunately, I only have this black tape on me right now, so I'm gonna cover it with the tape. Because if you don't cover it with the tape, you will having a bad connection on the back of side of the screen. Okay, where is my scissors? Scissors. Okay, I can't find my scissors. But you get the point. Just need to cover this, all this component with a tape. Maybe I'm gonna use this wire snippets. Hopefully it's cut. Okay, it's cut. Okay, it's cut. Like this. Also this connection, you have to cover it because you don't want your console make a funny thing. Bad tape. How come? Let me try that one more time. Okay, another very good solution to cut your tape using our wiring snippets like that. But you get the idea. Like this. And then you have to make sure that everything is already have a good connection, because after you put the screen and you have a bad connection, you have to disassemble the screen and then you have to see the connection. Okay, make sure everything is clear. Have a good solder. I think I have a good solder one. This one is too high. I'm gonna lowering it. This one is also too high. This one is had a hole, not soldered perfectly. Okay, everything is good, and then we can proceed to the screen. Yeah, okay, just like this. Make sure it doesn't make any contact to the bottom pin. To the bottom pin like that. You need some gap in there. I think I'm gonna roll up plastic like this to make a gap between the. This is too much gap. You can use any kind of thing to make a gap for this. You can use paper or plastic. Now we solder the header. Okay. First thing first, put the solder on one pin, on one header, and then align it. Ooh, as I said before, this is the first time I'm doing this on camera. As you can see, this one is not leveling good enough. Rising up. Now that is good, right? Now that is good, and then as before, you cut it. Cut the header to make it shorter. Cut it like this from this side. Okay. Okay, this one hasn't been cut yet. Ow, that's kind of hurt. Okay. Now we solder all the header. For the screen, sorry. It's just a tiny blob, just like before. Not too much of solder in there. Using flux will help you to get a better solder connection. About the soldering, about the solder I use the 0.8 millimeter size. Okay. And then make an inspection. I think this has a good connection in there. Yeah, I think it's good. Okay, you can pull this plastic, and as you can see, it has a few gaps, so it won't touch the bottom of the Arduino Pro Micro header. Okay, that's it for the second part of building DIY Arduboy, soldering the Arduino Pro Micro and the screen. I don't expect the video will be 30 minutes long. Sorry if it gets too long, and thank you for staying with me. And I will get back to the third part of this building your own DIY Arduboy or Ardubuino. Thank you. Bye bye.